Chapter 1, Underworld 18 parts. There was darkness all around, no light, no sound. The hidden light slowly flew from afar, wherever it went, on the side of the road. The blood-red flower petals grew with the light as it came closer, blooming, everywhere it passed, as if the bleeding flower had turned dark all the way, whither. The light shrouded a figure, a seemingly 18 young girl. Nanhoa did not pay attention to this scene, nor did she know which direction she was going. She still clearly remembered the eyes of her husband before death. The intense and unforgiving eyes from those cloudy and tearful eyes penetrated all the way to the bottom of her heart. Her powerless hands could still feel the strength of his grip. Tun Yuyan's trial mission is over. Excellent result. The sutra synthesizes and analyzes and enters the female part of resentment. Truong Duong's trial mission is over. The results are qualified. The sutra synthesizes and analyzes and enters the southern region of ignorance. Chuck Dikebak's trial mission is over. The results are outstanding qualified. The sutra synthesizes and analyzes and enters the devil's department. Chuang Nok Kan's trial mission ended. His performance was not up to standard. He created killing karma. He turned into an animal. Teet Bin's trial mission is over. His results are not up to the standards. No merit, no crime, reincarnation. Nanhoa's trial mission is over. Excellent result. The sutra synthesizes, analyzes, and enters the female love department. Not long ago, the verdict rang in her ears again. She suddenly remembered that she had already died long ago. In her previous life she had died. After dying, she entered this space, accepted the reincarnation mission, and now is back. Nanhoa couldn't help but remember the 60 or 70 years of life she lived in the second generation. Although at first it was very hard and faced enemies all around, but later it was still happy, her deeply caring husband, her understanding parents-in-law, 2 or 3 good friends, and then a naughty little baby girl. Nanhoa touched her chest, as if her emotions were becoming more and more blurred. It was clear that the memories of those decades were still as clear as yesterday, but the initial heartache seemed to have disappeared. "Sister," a female voice came from the front. Nanhoa looked back and immediately opened her eyes wide. In front of her, a staggering figure flew. That face, that body, it was clearly her second generation. "You don't need to be surprised, sister. It's true that you've already replaced me and lived my life again." That girl bowed in front of her and a smile appeared on that girl's beautiful face. "I have always fallen into demonic obstacles. Even though I am innocent, I still don't understand what to do. I can't help but watch myself sink deeper and deeper, moving forward, not knowing how to fight, retreating, not knowing when to stop, even depressed to die. After I die, I don't want to be reincarnated and return to the underworld. Your life made me feel so many emotions. It turns out that what has made me suffer all my life is not fate, but myself. In my next life, even though I drank manba soup and went across the Naiha Bridge, I still remember this teaching." Nanhoa was shocked. It turned out that her whole life was in the eyes of the people here? But if her think about it, it's also true, otherwise where would the judgment come from? The girl saw her expression and understood it very well, so she continued to say, "You just arrived, maybe you don't know much about this. Everyone in the world knows that the underworld has 18 levels, and this place is the underworld, but it is not the 18-level underworld. This place stands parallel to the 18 floors, and is divided into 18 sets. The 18 floors are held by the evil people who created evil in the past. The 18 sets are those whose merits have not been destroyed in their lifetime, but does not want to be reincarnated due to attachment to previous lives." Nanhoa secretly asked, "Still human?" The other girl chuckled. "It looks like you have completely recovered. You also came to understand our feelings. After many years of being a ghost, we still thought we were human." Nanhoa looked at this face that had been familiar for decades. It was indeed a bit strange, but she also knew that the other person was challenging her, so she asked, "Why do we have to conduct the trial? What is the reason for being distributed into different ministries now?" "The trial is to test you. It is naturally impossible for us to know exactly how to test. But it is clear that 2 points are necessary. One is that evil must not be greater than Father Virtue, and 2 is to dispel the obsessions of us people. Nan Hoa suddenly woke up. Not only that, if she did too much evil, she would also be punished, like the person before her, who had been turned into an animal. As the human world develops, 3,000 worlds give birth to 3,000 worlds, 18 sets of obsessive souls become more and more numerous. Before I lived in a small villa with a garden, now her soulful eyes sighed deeply. Being able to stay in an independent place makes me so happy. Nan Hoa sweated. It's really more or less you. When I can finally leave this place, I'm afraid that in the future, I won't be able to survive even in the distance. The sound of a bell came from far away, and the woman's face changed. Man Ba urges me. Having finished speaking, she withdrew her smiling face and bowed solemnly to Nan Hoa. Thank you, sister, for saving me from the sea of suffering. I have not promised to meet again, so I'm here to wish you the day when you can wipe out the female love department and attain great enlightenment. As soon as she finished speaking, that figure quickly floated towards the distance. Nan Hoa frowned and looked at the direction she left. Although the female ghost talked a lot, it caused more doubts. How was she chosen? In her previous life, she had only stuck to her own thoughts for the rest of her life. She didn't understand how to get rid of her obsessions. Listening to the rumors, her future job would be to eliminate the attachments to women's souls. Moreover, it seems like the underworld also explodes, wiping out the female population. She suddenly felt a heavy responsibility. The female ghost left. Nan Hoa's body slowly drifted towards the original direction. Only then did she notice that she seemed to be being pulled towards a certain destination by a force. That is the so-called female love department. Along the way, Nan Hoa saw at the end of the red spider lily that she might not be able to work in the department in the future. That is also a piece of nothingness, but in the space, anger, sadness, all kinds of negative emotions rush in front of her. Just taking a step, Nan Hoa had a desperate feeling of not being able to breathe, praying but not being able to, wanting to stop but not being able to. All 5 internal organs and 6 organs seemed to be stuck together. The pain wanted to die. In the blink of an eye, Nan Hoa curled up in pain. A bright white light surrounded her body, and painful screams followed. She instantly felt a lightness around her body. Those feelings were receding like a tide. The white light expanded into a space of nearly 5 square meters, and the screams outside gradually disappeared. Following that, there was an impatient sound and the feeling of being touched by the white light wall. Master, let me come first. I'll come first. Master, I have been here for hundreds of years, let me come first. Nan Hoa thinks that it seemed like they wanted to go in, but did they need to get her permission? While thinking in her mind, she said softly to a certain point in the void, come in. An unreal figure appeared opposite, then slowly appeared. This is a beautiful ancient woman. Great the master. The beautiful woman bowed with a beautiful posture, but there was no smile on her face. Her eyes were sad, as if she could sigh out countless thoughts. We've been married for 20 years, each of us said that the boy is talented and the girl is beautiful. My husband and I both thought we could have sex for 100 years, but we didn't think that because of no son, our house would be ruined. I originally thought that my daughter had no brothers and that she had a trustworthy uncle, but I didn't expect that I would personally lead her into a death scene. Knowing this early on, I risked my life and wanted to leave behind a son for my husband. Master. I regret it very much. Nan Hoa has a question mark. What? Where does the story begin and end? Regret what? What do you want her to do? But before she could even ask, in the last glance of the other person, she discovered that her figure became more and more pale, her consciousness became more and more blurred, until her eyes were completely black, and a motionless sense